Previously, Uncoupled with Chaos, a personal podcast.
But they won't be able to use the house because the drains won't work. They won't be able to get to the house because the neighbors are parking in front of the house, blocking it.
Exactly.
They won't even know where it's at. The movers will just have to drive past and wait.
Yeah.
Because they're still having parties. How many parties can you have?
That's a lot of parties. I mean, a lot. And how many people do they know? That's more people than I know in Texas.
I couldn't produce that many people.
That's what I'm saying.
And they just keep coming. Mm-hmm. What are we doing wrong?
Everybody's carrying piles of food.
And gifts? We're doing something wrong. We need to know more people. This means you have to go to their place too, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Coupled with Chaos.
So I walk in on our son.
Today?
No, this is earlier in the week.
Okay.
And I watch him. It looks like performing some kind of evil surgery on remote controls.
Remote control.
So this boy...
The carnage of his remotes over the last year has been massive. Like he's a serial murderer of remotes.
He's like to remote controls as our daughter is to hamsters.
Yes.
Yeah, or yourself. Well, you keep them a while. You keep hamsters for a while.
long time.
I understand.
Like all pets, they all live longer than they're supposed to.
But it's her and hamsters.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, maybe like, who's that girl from, what was it, Finding Nemo? Was it Darla with the braces?
No.
That's who he is with remotes. He's Darla.
You talking about Dory?
Yeah, this would be Finding Nemo, wasn't that?
Yeah, Dory, not Darla.
Darla's
you're talking about the girl.
Oh, yeah, Darla's the girl.
Oh, yeah.
The wicked girl.
Oh, yeah.
That's him with remotes. Remotes should run from him.
Right.
So what's his story with remotes? How many do you think the boy has broken?
Oh, so many. And the thing is, the remote for that TV is known to be fairly fragile if you drop it on a hard surface. So they make a rubber, like a silicone sleeve
First world
that
problems.
Encases it that you can buy. Now, I have bought so many sets of the remote plus the silicone sleeve because Haley had this TV before him. And he's been through so many since he
TVs, remotes.
Inherited this TV from her.
Between this and a Roku, so there's a Roku remote and this and
this particular remote plus the silicone sleeve costs like $30. And I've probably bought 4 remotes for this television with sleeves. Because not only does he break the remote, he breaks the sleeve also. It gets ripped. I don't know how this is possible. It's very hard to break silicone, but yet he does it.
This does it.
So like he breaks the silicone sleeve, then the remote comes out of it, then he drops the remote on the hard floor because he doesn't get out of his bed, and then it's all dead. There's carnage. There's circuit boards and lights and all kinds of pieces shattered all over the floor.
So you laid down the law, right?
Yeah.
And said what?
I'm not buying any more remotes for this TV. You're out of luck.
So
he's either got to get a job and buy a remote, or he's got no use of the TV remote. Now, he really doesn't need the TV remote because you can control it on the back of the TV. It's got buttons for volume and channel and power. But I mentioned that he doesn't get out of his bed. And so instead, he started going into
this is a problem.
My craft room.
Yes.
Which has my alternate bed when I can't sleep in here with snoring.
From the dogs.
So this happened because we have 3 sick dogs that are all snoring because they can't breathe with their mucus. And plus a snoring husband. And I was going out of my mind. And so I got up out of the bed.
You can't even breathe.
And I had nowhere to go.
If I breathe, you call it snoring.
I'm wandering around. Oh, I'm a tape record it now. But I am wandering around the house in the middle of the night, trying to figure out where I can lay my head, carrying all my crap because I got to have a bunch of special pillows to sleep with my arm and all that. And I ended up in our adult son's room because he didn't come home that night.
It's not like he's missing.
No.
He's an alternate place he can stay.
And the trouble with that was that there's street lights. I had to go shut the shutters. Then there was some power light on a power strip on the desk that was shining in my eyeball. And I only have a choice of one side to lay on, so I can't roll over.
You could have flipped to the other side of the bed.
I can't roll over and not look
to the
at
other
it.
bed. You could have put your head where the feet go and the feet where the head go.
It's such a mess.
So
and
you
so
were not
I
happy.
get up and I put a pillow in front of the light. Then it's the sloshy noise, waterfall noise
That wasn't
of the
even my topic.
half-empty fish tank. And it made me want to pee. So I had to get up, go to the kitchen, get a container, fill it 3 times with water, and pour it into the fish tank to stop the sloshy waterfall sound.
This wasn't even on my list of stuff to talk about.
There was the loud vibration of the water pump to the fish tank on the shelf underneath because he set something metal and rattly on top of it. And it was so loud. So I had to get up and move that. Then I was finally settled in.
Jody, I was not trying to get her going.
Now, I did not have my white noise machine. So this I knew was going to be a problem also. But I was so exhausted at this point. I laid awake most of the night. My watch said I slept, but I was staring at my watch. So I know that I was awake for hours. I heard you leave at 6 a.m. And then I got up and I came back in the room.
So I walk in with his maybe, I don't know, sense that his life's about to end, decides that he is going to perform surgery on these remote controls. So he's asking if I have any, do you have any spare old broken remotes? I go, well, no, you have all the broken remotes because you break all the remotes. So he's looking for new springs to put in it to hold the battery, is what he's trying to piece together 3 or 4 remotes. I'm thinking, though, you never know. Maybe, right, he's some kind of electronic savant.
Whiz.
This is what it... So no. I was going to just stop him, like with a solution to the problem. But I think, you know what, let's let the boy go. I mean, this could be like our Iron Man. He could make something incredible. It's entirely possible.
You've forgotten what son this is.
Yeah, but you just never know. So maybe we haven't found like his thing. Maybe this is his thing. Maybe he could just play. Watch in there, and he's like, I don't know. It's like he's drooling all over the circuit board.
Yeah.
And it's just a mess. And I realize that this isn't happening.
This is going nowhere.
Yes, he's not an electronic savant. He's just our kid. So it wasn't going to work. So I had the solution to the problem is that somebody in the house has another universal remote. So I provided to fix this issue of you not finding a place to sleep in the house. I hope I'm not in trouble.
Well, I'll just say that he also has broken his Roku remotes many times in the same fashion, crashing them to the hard floor because he keeps everything in the bed because he doesn't get up. And so he's currently using the only remaining remote to the whole Roku setup in the house that will work on that Roku box. And it belongs on the back porch. And when I went in there to clean up, and pickup said remote carnage, I found that remote that I loaned him from the back porch that he was to care for better than his own remotes. And it now has a missing back. And I could not find it anywhere. So there's no battery cover on that remote. And it is the last one.
I think I have found one with a battery cover.
It's a different shape than all the others.
Okay. I'm sorry.
So
did I do wrong by providing this universal, or you still don't care?
I'm just saying that it's. I hope you've kissed it goodbye because it's just going to get added to the list.
My thought is
he needs to suffer for a while.
Yeah, but suffering means we all suffer. I think everyone who's listening to this has heard what happens if your sleep is disrupted.
It's not good.
We understand that as a group, and I would rather fix today's problem of you not sleeping, and then I can worry about tomorrow's problem tomorrow. But you did notice, although you slept in our room last night, there was not a big problem because we were one dog short last night.
Yes, the one who's not getting better and is still snoring all night.
We passed
off to the boy who sleeps through everything, including the crashing of his remotes to the floor at 2 a.m.
It can happen at like 2 in the morning. We'll hear
it wakes us up.
A crash. And what it is, it's a hard, hollow plastic is what those Roku remotes are. Seems like probably everybody has some kind of Roku TV or Roku remote these days. So it's that remote. And they seem relatively tough.
They are.
But this boy,
there's no remote he can't conquer.
Yeah, he can't fix them either, unfortunately. What he didn't seem to understand is the connection of where the spring is. You had to transfer that to the circuit board. And so that was the problem. He had circuit boards apart, all sorts of stuff. But say what you want, right? He is in the 10th grade, and he did manage to get all A's this.
We think. Yeah. Grades aren't final yet.
Well, you're really tough on the kid.
I'm just saying, grades aren't final yet.
I'm thinking this is pretty good.
We'll see.
Right? We're pretty happy.
Yeah, this would be the first time this year that he got straight A's.
Yeah, but it's still A's and B's. So this isn't horrible.
For the zero work they expect them to do.
Well, I understand. Well, you are tough on this boy. Just saying. I mean, I get it. He does some knuckleheaded stuff.
He's a knucklehead.
But I'm not sure. We haven't figured out what he's going to be good at yet.
Yeah.
Like our daughter, this is not a surprise. Like we knew, like our daughter is probably a good boss.
Yes.
Right? And we probably knew this from her early.
From 6.
She turns out to be okay at it.
Yeah.
Right? She's a good boss. Whatever she's going to do, she probably needs to be the boss.
Yeah.
Or a boss in some way because she's probably going to at least act like the boss.
Right.
Turns out she's okay at it.
Yeah.
Our oldest, you know what do you say he's probably good at?
He's good, I think, with negotiating people. I think he's good at kind of reading people and figuring out how to, navigate difficult situations at work with maybe people that are flying off the handle, because he doesn't. I would put him, and maybe I haven't seen as much as you, I would put him as, I'm pretty convinced that whatever group he's in, nobody's going to work harder than him. That too. Period. Yes. But, I've been around him when he's on, like, conference call meetings with all the management, and like, people really seem to value his input. And, when other people are having problems, like with each other, he seems to be able to navigate bringing people together. So we'll find out what the youngest is good at. So I think he'd be a good manager also. It's not electronics guy. No. I'm pretty good. You've heard me on the phone. I'm pretty good on the phone, right? You only hear those calls on them. We'll probably talk about that more when we come back. So you're good at being something on the phone. I don't like your tone. Thank you for listening.
You can listen to the rest of this episode
by subscribing to our Coupled with Chaos channel on Apple,
by subscribing to our Patreon,
or by subscribing to our Supercast
for $3.99 a month,
where you can hear us talk about reality shows,
real life, and more on our podcasts,
covering shows airing on TLC, A&E, Bravo, and the WE Network.
Just follow the instructions in the show notes.
Tell your friends about this podcast.
And rate and review us on your favorite podcast player.
Follow us at Coupled with Chaos on all the socials.
Or contact us directly by email at coupledwithchaos@gmail.com.